October 6th, 2019. It is 9 o'clock in the evening. In this English class, we are going to talk about date and time. Objectives: review different date formats, notice how to use cardinal and ordinal numbers with dates, and finally tell the time in different ways. Let's start. What date was this? So here we're going to check a date in the past. Okay? So here I want you to stop for a while and take your time trying to tell me the date. If you see these numbers, what date is this one for you? If your answer was this, May 2nd, 1985, or your answer was February 5th, 1985. So here, as you can see, it is difficult to tell what is the correct date if you don't know what is the date format that you are using. The first number is for days or for months. The second number is for days or for months. We don't know. We only know that the year is 1985. So, when we talk about the date, it's important to tell the format that you're using. In this case, we're using day, month, and year. So, the appropriate date was May 2nd, 1985. Although there is an international standard that is the ISO 8601 that uses years with 4 digits, months with 2 digits, and days with 2 digits, this is not used worldwide. So, my advice for you is to use days, months, and years if you are in Latin America, and months, day, years if you are in Europe. But anyway, all the time mention the day format that you are using. Let's check some examples of different date formats. As you can see here, we can write the date using the morning letters like in the first example. You can use the abbreviation of the month, or you can just use numbers separated by hyphens or slash or dots. It doesn't matter the day format you have, you will always have to read the day, the number in days, the day number, using ordinal numbers. So in the first example, we read it like this, January 31st, 2019, or January 31st, 2019 in the second example, and in the third example that we only have numbers, January 31st, 2019. So, my advice for you is, whenever you have to write a date, use words instead of number to avoid misunderstanding, especially referring to the previous point that we just checked. Let's check some different styles of dates. If we talk about the American style, you can have the day like this, January 31st, 2019, or you can say 31st January 2019. If we talk about the British style, you can read it like this, January 31st, 2019, or the 31st of January 2019. In the British date format, they always use the before, the 31st, the 2nd, the 7th of June, July. So it is very, it is marked. This difference is marked in the day format. Let's check a little bit about the ordinal numbers. Okay, so here we have the ordinal numbers. So number one is called first. And notice how we use the last two letters of the name of the number next to the number. First, we use SD. Second, we use ND. Third, RD. Fourth, TH. And from number 4, all the numbers end in TH. But notice in some numbers how the spelling changes. You know that 5 is VE at the end, but for the ordinal number, the VE changes for F, and then we add TH. The same happens with number 12. 12 in cardinal numbers ends in VE, but here the VE is changed by an F. So instead of having the cardinal numbers, we have the ordinal number 12th, and we use TH at the end. Another number that changes is number 9. Okay, the E that goes at the end in the cardinal numbers disappears, and we have just 9th. And with number 20, the Y of 20 changes by IE, and then we add TH. Let's see some other examples. The number 32 in cardinal number changes to 32nd in the ordinal number. Notice that we keep the 30 and then we use the second number in the ordinal number. So 32nd, and we use the last two letters, ND. Questions about the date. Here we're going to check some examples of questions and some examples of how to answer these questions. What day is today? It's September 3rd, 2019. When is Father's Day? It is on the third Sunday of June. So notice here the preposition that is in capital letter on the third Sunday of June. When is the Women's Day? It is on March 8th. And the last question, when was Pichincha Battle? This question is in past, so we will use the verb to be in past. It was on May 24, 1822. So notice here that we're using the preposition on to talk about the date. Also, you need to remember that in English, we always write days of the week and months of the year with capital letters. That's the rule. Time. What time is it? This is the most common question to ask about the time. And notice this clock, okay? When it is en punto, as we call it in Spanish, we use o'clock. When it is y media, we use half past or half. When it is cuarto, we call it quarter. It can be quarter past or quarter to. So here we can have the different time, like it's 5 minutes past. In this case, it would be past 3. It is 10 minutes past. It is quarter past. It is 20 minutes past. It is 25 minutes past. It is half past. It is 25 minutes to. So from here, instead of using past, now we use to. That in Spanish we call it para. It is quarter to 6, for example. Es cuarto para las 6. It's 20 minutes to. It's a quarter to. It's 10 minutes to. It's 5 minutes to. So don't forget, we have keywords like o'clock. From 1 to 6, we use past. From 7 to 12, we use to. Questions to ask the time. So we already checked the first question. What time is it? So notice how we referred with the pronoun it to talk about the time. It's 7 o'clock. What is the time? It's 7 o'clock. Do you have the time? This is a different question using the auxiliary do. Yes, of course. It is 7 o'clock. Do you know what time it is? Yes, I do. It's 7 o'clock. Could you tell me the time, please? Yes, it's 7 o'clock. Do you happen to have the time? Yes, I do. It's 7 o'clock. Have you got the right time? Yes, I have. It's 7 o'clock. So here, what is basically changing is the grammar structure that we use in every question. So we have questions using the auxiliary do, we have questions using the modal could, and also using have you got. And the answer always refers to the question. But the answer that is related to the time always uses it because we use it to replace the time. AM or PM, morning, afternoon, or night. So check this clock that tell us how we change from AM to PM. So we can have early morning if we're talking about the time before 6 a.m. We talk about morning from 6 a.m. until midday. We talk about afternoon from midday until 6 p.m. That is the evening starts. And then we talk about evening from 6 p.m. to midnight. So right now, I don't know if you remember at the beginning of the class, I say it is 9 p.m. or it is 9 in the evening. It's 9 in the evening. Telling the time. What time is it? Now we're going to check two different ways to tell the time using this digital clock. Okay, in this example, we are going to read the time from left to right. It is 6:30. So when we read the time from left to right, we read the first number, in this case 6. The colon becomes an, and the number is 30. So that's why we have it is 6:30. Or we can also use the keyword. It is 6.5. It is 6.5. 6, the colon is an, and then we have the next number that is 30 or a half. If we read the time from right to left, we have to read this number first. In this case, it's 30. The colon becomes past, and then we have the number 6. In this case, it's 30 past 6. Or we can also say it is half past 6. So, what are the prepositions of day and time that we use? We use in for months. For example, we can say in July, in October, in November. We use in for years, in 2019, in 1965. For seasons, in summer, in winter. And always use in when you talk about these things. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Use the preposition on with days, on Saturday, on Wednesday, on Monday. When you have a specific day. To have a specific day, you need to have at least the month and the day in number, or you can have the month, the day in numbers, and also the year. So in these examples, we have on September 11th, on October 1st, 1895. And use the preposition at to talk about time. At 7 o'clock, at 3:30, at 6:15, at noon, at midday, at night, and at midnight. And when you have the word time, for example, at Christmas time. Finally, to conclude, we use it to talk about time and date. Use ordinal numbers to read the date. It doesn't matter the date format you use. Use past and to tell the time. And use the prepositions in, on, and at to talk about a time and date. So in this case, use in for months, years, and seasons. Use on for days and dates. And use at for time. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and I hope this video was helpful and it